get a little high from the fentanyl, bite down. Pray to the east, don't pray where you eat. Gon' be what it be when it's lights out. Flag on the plate, no time outs. Niggas tryna catch it.
Yo, what's good outside world? Welcome to episode 4 of In the Land podcast. You have your amazing host, myself, Isaiah Thapo Vinay.
Your favorite cousin, Asha.
Big Sync on Soul Apply.
Alright, cool. So this is our 4th episode. I think someone said earlier we need to definitely speak on the origins of where In the Land came from. And so my brother, Carl Vinay, him and myself, we some hood babies. So, we grew up around Chatham, 91st and St. Lawrence, down the street from Mick Jenkins. And we used to go to Harlan on 95th in Michigan. So we used to always be posted at the 95th Red Line. This was before they redid it. And so, my brother, he was always with the shits. And so he came up with the term In the Land. And for some reason, that just stuck with me. Mind you, this was years ago. I think I had just gotten out of high school. I was just starting to go to Columbia. My brother was still kind of there, but he was back and forth. But ever since then, I always had that name in my head. And so it is also our open mic series name, that we've been running for 3 years in Inglewood. And it is also the name of this amazing podcast. So we have the amazing Solar Fire with us, Yeah, so that's a big deal. You feel me? And so I think we should go ahead and get into this guest, y'all.
Yeah, let's do it. Come on.
Let's get it.
This next guest that we're about to bring on, man, I think the best way to explain, well, for what I've been told, people are saying he's the older version of me as far as being a connector. And just having a real love for Chicago music, and just Chicago hip hop, and just the future of its sound and its presence. And I feel like since building with him, I've learned a lot. I'm still learning, we got him to grace us with his amazing presence. So give it up for GQ Tha Teacha. Man, GQ.
Hey.
Smooth.
How you doing? How you
feeling, sir?
Good.
Man, so first of all, thank you so much for coming on our show. It's funny because I also mentioned this in our first episode about how In the Land is a spinoff from Triangle Offense, which is a podcast that originally myself, you, and Water came together to build on. And so, again, that all took place in 2024, and so many things have been happening all this year, from the Renaissance of the Culture show, to the Purple Box anniversary, to the GQ Tha Teacha tribute show. I could really go on. There's been so many shows. So you tell me, what has been some of your favorite shows this year for 2024? I know you've been going to all types of shows.
Well, it was good seeing Black Thought, because I haven't seen Black Thought since 2000. So it was good to link up back with him. So the Roots, Digable Planet, Arrested Development at Ravina out in the suburbs and shit. That was dope. Golden Child event
at
City Winery.
Yeah.
That was phenomenal. The West Side Gun wrestling event.
Still Have Eyes.
So
yeah.
cool.
That was dope.
Still Praying. Yeah. That was one for the history.
Fort Rope.
Yeah.
Rhyme Fest had an event at Sub T for his school CBS stuff.
I missed that one.
And it was dope.
I wanted to go to that.
Dope.
Yeah.
That was dope. It was dope seeing him and one of the artists that I'm going to be working with, this young lady named C Red and Master Ace. You know what I'm saying? Did their thing. There's been a couple of dope shows this year. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I try to go out a lot. I can't stay up in no crib all day. I try to, go out a lot and, you know what I'm saying? Of course, the tribute stuff they did for me, that was dope. Yeah.
Got you. So I feel like you have so many amazing stories. especially being from Chicago and again, advocating for so many. I want to make sure that I word this right as far as the story about you and Bernie Mac. And I feel like I heard bits and pieces, but I think there's a story where you saw him performing on the Red Line and y'all like got to chop it up and actually became like real close homies and stuff. Can you tell us about that?
Well, originally, I'm not from Chicago. You know, I came to Chicago in '92. Originally, I was born in New York, Brooklyn, Brownsville. And I left New York when I was a kid. And me and my sister, we moved to Belize and grew up in Belize. My mother and my father, they Belizeans. And I grew up in Belize, left Belize, came back to New York in my teenage years, like around 14, 15. And then around 17, I left New York, and then I came to Chicago in '92. So in '92, I came to Chicago. One of the first people I met was this Sister Africa. I met her in '92. Me and her got a 30 plus year relationship. And I met this guy also named Duro. And Duro used to throw this, he used to have these hip hop parties back in the day at this club called Lower Links, and it was called Who Got Big Lips. So it was through Duro that I was able to meet Ange 13, Ill State Assassin, Trackster, the actor Wood Harris. He used to be a rapper before he was an actor.
Mm.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Juice, Tony Baines, Spillane Sea Bunch. I met them in '92. And in '93, I was just happened to be on the CTA train because I'm still new to Chicago, trying to get the feel of it. I almost got my ass whooped because I had my hat broke off to the right.
Oh shit!
I didn't
know about that.
No, we don't.
I never had it broke off to the right.
I had my hat broke off to the right. But and see, it's crazy because in New York you can wear your hat whatever way you want to, but in Chicago I was like, damn.
No, that really is something.
I almost got my ass whooped, but when they start hearing me talking, they're like, "Oh, you got an accent." They're like, "Oh, you got to be from Africa or something." I'm like, "Nah, I'm not from those damn Africa. I'm from New York and I'm from Belize." They're like, "Okay." They're like, "Man, homie, you gotta fix that hat up, man." So that's when I, got to learn about the Chicago gang life and stuff like that. So I'm on a train. And I saw these dudes on the train one time. They called themselves Genuine Draft, Neck and Bone, High G. This was like in '93. And it was an R&B group called Three Piece. Rest in peace to my brother Big Reese G. I saw them on the train, and so I'm like, damn, they was killing it. I'm like, okay. I see these motherfuckers making their money on the train and stuff like that. So I'm like, man, I gotta do the same thing. So I kept listening to them, and then one time I saw this dude on the Green Line train telling jokes, comedy. And he was, just cracking up on people on the train and stuff like that. And then after he finished, he pulled out his little brown McDonald paper bag and, collect his little money like that. I saw him make like damn near $50 off of one card. So I'm like, damn, I'm in a ride, man. And around this time, I didn't have no job, so I was trying to find me a job. So I happened to walk up on him and I was like, man, you inspire me, man. You make me want to start coming out here and rap on the train. And he looked at me, he like, you got an accent, where you from? I'm like, I'm from Belize in New York. He like, so what you do? I'm like, I rap a little bit, so I, kick a couple of reggae stuff for him. And he was like, damn, you'll make a lot of money on the train doing that. So he was like, man, what's your name? And I told him, my name's GQ. Because that was my nickname at the time. It wasn't GQ Tha Teacha. I had that GQ Tha Teacha later on. It was just GQ. So I'm like, man, what's your name? He's like, man, my name Bernie Mac. So I'm like, okay. So afterwards, I started seeing them at, it was this club back in the days called Cotton Club
Cotton Club, yeah.
You know, I seen him at Cotton Club a few times, and then there was another club downtown back in the days called All Jokes Aside. And everybody was there. Bernie Mac was there, the comedian Damon Williams was there, Tony Schofield, Leon Rogers, Marlon Mitchell, Corey Holcomb, what's my man name? George Wilburn, Big Daddy Woo Woo, this rapper named Iomos Murad, Big Nasty. Everybody used to be there. That was the spot. So that's when I started, you know what I'm saying, honing my, you know, my performance skills on stage and stuff like that. You know, before that, I wasn't really into hip hop. I got into hip hop when I came to Chicago. Crazy, right? When I was back in, you would expect I was into hip hop when I was back in New York.
Yeah.
Nah. When I was back in New York, I wasn't listening to no hip hop. I was listening to reggae dancehall music because I grew up in Belize, and in Belize they don't play hip hop. They play mostly Shabba Ranks, Buju Banton, Terra Fabulous, Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, The Wailers, Steel Pulse, you know what I'm saying? You know, so Sprague Benz. So that's what I grew up on out there. So when I came to New York, that's all I was listening to. But when I came to Chicago, that's when I got into the hip hop. So I met this dude named Mike Shane. And Mike Shane and Raymond, rest in peace, Mike Shane. And Mike Shane and Raymond O'Neal, they used to own this newspaper out here in Chicago called Fly Paper.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So Duro introduced me to Mike Shane. Mike Shane also used to work for this radio station back in the days called 106 Jams Radio. So Duro introduced me to Mike Shane, and Mike Shane introduced me to this guy named Isidore Pink. Isidore Pink back in the 80s used to work as a DJ at WKKC radio station, which was a Kennedy King College radio station. So Mike Shane introduced me to Isidore Pink. Isidore Pink is PinkHouse. And PinkHouse took me under his wing. I started off as far as like on internship. I had to go through the internship. Then he took me under his wing and I started doing street promotion and marketing with PinkHouse. And it was through PinkHouse back in 94 and 95 that I was able to meet DJ Premier and Chuck D and Jazzy Jeff and MC Light and George Daniels and Jay Prince and all this stuff, because PinkHouse was like, he was the plug. Everybody, you know what I'm saying, knew who PinkHouse was. PinkHouse was like, he was like the Clarence Avant of Chicago. For those who don't know who Clarence Avant is, Clarence Avant is like the Black Godfather. I don't know if y'all saw that.
Oh yeah, it's documentary.
Yeah, the documentary on Netflix. You know, rest in peace to him. He died last year at the age of 94. But PinkHouse was like the plug. So now, you know, a lot of cats be asking me like, dude, how the fuck you be knowing all these people and stuff like that? I met them through PinkHouse. And that, you know, and I just start, you know, building a relationship with them and networking with them. And it's crazy because I started off as being a fan of all these cats, Tribe Called Quest, DJ Guru, rest in peace. And now I went from being a fan to, I could make a phone call to any one of them cats, or they call me like, man, yo, I'm in Chicago, you know what I'm saying, where you at? I got you on the list, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? So one of the person I met back in 95 was Chuck D. I met him through PinkHouse. And me and Chuck D always stayed in touch with each other from Public Enemy. So crazy thing is, one time Chuck D had a show here in Chicago, and he was like, yo, GQ, I'm in Chicago, man. If you ain't doing nothing, come through. I got you on the guest list. So I was like, all right, cool. So at this time, I wasn't rapping on the train at this time. I was working at the health food store. And one of the person that used to work with me at the health food store was a good friend of mine. Her name Freddie Old Soul. me and Freddie Old Soul used to work at Bonasante together. That's the name of the health food store. And Freddie Old Soul, she told me like she into the music. And me and Hope were just talking about all these different rappers and stuff like that. But what Freddie Old Soul didn't tell me was she knew how to rap. She had bars. So here it is. I'm up here with my boy Damon Williams, the comedian Damon Williams.
Senior, right?
Yeah, senior. Yeah. His son, he's dope as fuck too.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So here it is. I'm here with Damon Williams. We watching the show. We see 4 MCs come out on the stage. And all 4 of these motherfuckers raw as fuck. So I'm like, who the fuck is them? The first person I heard, Freddie Old Soul. I had to look, I had to do a double take like, wait, that Freddie Old Soul? I'm like, man, what the fuck? Like, man, she
Why you didn't tell me you was
You trying to hold this nigga?
I'm like,
You
okay.
keeping secrets now?
So after Freddie Old Soul, I heard this other MC. She killed it. She sounded like Bahamadia. I'm like, yo, who the fuck is this? You're like, that's her name, Brittany Carter. I'm like, damn, she raw as fuck. So then after Brittany Carter, I heard you. And then I heard J Bev. I'm like, all 4 of y'all raw as fuck. So that's when I was like, yeah, I'm a fan of all 4 of y'all. And that's when I was like, the first person I hit up with Freddie Old Soul. I told her like, you know you wrong as hell for that, right? She started cracking up. She like, I'm like, why you ain't telling me you know how to get down on the mic? And that's how me and her started our relationship as far as the music stuff. Now with Brittany, on the other hand, I heard Brittany, but then afterward, I haven't heard from her for a minute. And then one time I just happened to look on my IG, a good friend of mine, the legendary Pete Rock, he posted a video, reposted a video of Brittany and Olive Blue. So when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, that's homegirl that I saw that Chuck D show at the Metro. So when I heard her spit over that Dilla shit, I'm like, okay, I'm sold. I'm a fan. So I wasn't trying to be no creep or nothing like that. I hit her in the DM on IG like, yo, Brittany, you got a fan right here. I'm a big fan of your music. I would love to work with you.
Damn, that's crazy.
She introduced me to her manager, her first manager, who I've been knowing. His name's Scheme. And that's how me and Brittany connected. And Brittany introduced me to her father. And when I met the father looked like GQ. I'm like, yeah. He like, Brittany, I've been knowing this man for years. I used to look out for him when he used to be rapping on the CTA trains.
That's crazy.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying?
And that's around the same time you met Bernie Mac.
No. This was like around 97, 98.
Wow. And so
I met Bernie Mac. I met Bernie Mac before I met Brittany Father.
Well, what year was that? Do you remember where you was at?
Bernie Mac, I met him like around 95, 94.
Damn.
That's like right before Players Club.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like that's I'm just like, wow, that's crazy.
So digging back into her, I met this dude, right? I'm rapping on the train. And this dude came up to me was like, yo, bruh, you raw as fuck. Him and his boy came up to me, so I was like, man, thank you, I appreciate it, man. He's like, I get down on the mic. He's like, both of us get down on the mic. I'm like, word. I'm like, man, what's your name? He's like, my name's Phenom. And I'm like, word, my name's GQ. And I was like, man, what's your name, bro? He's like, man, my name's Brother Mike. Rest in peace.
That's the power.
So, Brother Mike and Phenom came up to me and was like, yo, G, we in this group called Poetry.
That nigga's so raw still.
You know what I'm saying? And they was like, we would love for you. We would love, would you be down with rocking with us and open up for Amel LaRue? So when they said open up for Amel LaRue, my eyes got big. I'm like, Amel LaRue. I got a crush on Amel LaRue. And every time I hear her do that song, not the tell me if you want to, not that, but the other one, do, 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 do. When I hear her do that, I'm like, so I'm like, what? Hell yeah! So
Just tell me when to be there.
so we did it. We opened up. Me, Phenom, Brother Mike, Jupiter. All of us. We opened up for Amel LaRue at Skyline at Navy Pier, and that's when Phenom was like, "Yo, GQ, I got some couple of youths that I'm working with. You know, they do everything from poetry to singing to MC." And he told me, like, he mentioned Brittany Carter's name. I'm like, oh wait, you know Brittany Carter too? He like, that's one of my students. So I'm like, okay. I went to school, and that's when Phenom introduced me to everybody. And it was, I'm trying to remember where it was at. Was that the?
We met at his house.
Right.
He brought you in for the MC school.
Right.
He was talking to us. You showed us your skills, and then we were just talking about hip hop.
And then they started rocking, and I was like, I was impressed, and that's when I first met Asha Omega.
Yeah.
And I heard her. Well, I heard her first at the Chuck D event at the Metro, and then I heard her later when Phenom introduced me, and that's when I was sold. I became a big fan. You know, fast forward to now, you dropped that new album, Star. I was like, I text him. I text Starport like, nigga. I show him, nigga, like, what the fuck? I'm like, y'all snapped. Both of y'all snapped. So
Thanks.
that's when I was like, hey,
I was trying to get that.
Missed it.
It's
I missed the
okay.
whole thing.
I'll just go in the corner.
There's too much shit going on.
Well, yeah, that's my history as far as, you know, I've been in the music world for 35 years now. I'm 52. Been in the music world for 35 years. My mentors was PinkHouse, Terrence Avant, rest in peace, Ronadeb, Chowdhury, aka Jello, who I work with at 24/7 HH.
Native Labs.
8 to the Labs. Yep, you know what I'm saying? And also my brother, who you supposed to be interviewing tonight as well, the legendary
Johnny Small.
Johnny Small.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So these are cats that I came up with. You know, I came up under. You know what I'm saying? And now, even though, you know, I'm going through my health issue, I love the movement. You know, I really can't do that much performing and stuff like that. So what I'm trying to do now is working with the younger, you know, the future, which is y'all the future, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about Rufus Sims and Dean and Golden Child and Tyree Hakeem, Dialectra, Solar 5, Freddie O'Soul. I'm proud of the movement. I love the way Chicago hip hop is moving, and you know, like I told all of them, like whatever strings I could pull or whatever help I could do, you know what I'm saying? I'm here. You know what I'm saying?
So I know, Solar, you had a question about.
Yeah, I was so like, how has it been for you cultivating all of these relationships and like maintaining these relationships over the years? I mean, it's one thing to network, you know what I'm saying, but like to really be to be someone can call on, you know what I'm saying, when they in town, that speaks volumes to your character. So I'm just wondering how that is for you, like, you know, navigating that.
Damn, that's a good ass question. You know what it is. I just be real with them, man. You know what I'm saying? I show my respect, but I'm trying not to come off as a groupie type.
Yeah.
I tried not to come off as on some groupie type shit, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, like I said, a lot of these cats, I would have never known them if it wasn't for PinkHouse. You know what I'm saying? PinkHouse the one that put me in tune with all these cats, man. It's like every time you hear me mention two people, I give my flowers to them, and it's Duro and PinkHouse.
Yeah.
And in a way, I want to say Cassius D as well too, from Zulu Nation. You know what I'm saying? I give my flowers to him because, like I said, if it wasn't for Cassius D and Duro, I would have never met PinkHouse. And if it wasn't for PinkHouse, I would have never met George Daniels. I would have never met John Monopoly. I would have never met Jello. I would have never met Jay Smalls. I would have never met none of these cats. So that's the reason why you hear me religiously always mention Duro and PinkHouse name. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, that's how I was able to build my relationship with these cats. I went from being a fanboy to now I could just call any one of these cats and like, man, yo, I'm you know, let me know when you reach in town or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
That just really speaks volumes to how real you are as a person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know personally, like from the relationships of like, you know, Mick and Chance and those people, that it's kind of hard to like not. I didn't want to like, you know, say I know these people, but people know. You know what I'm saying? Like people know, and it's just navigating that. I feel like it just speaks volumes.
It's crazy, and it's crazy because I've been watching Mick Jenkins since youngin'. You know what I'm saying? And to watch him grow to what he is now is fucking beautiful.
It's amazing. It is amazing.
Man. And that's why, you know, I hated it when, you know, I don't want to bring this up, but I'm going to bring it up. I hated it when Mick Jenkins and Vic got into it, man. Because I'm like, fuck. I got a good relationship with both of these dudes, man. Like, but
that was a wild time.
That was a very wild time.
Right, yeah. But what brought a smile on my face was when I saw Mick Jenkins and Vic start chopping it up on some grown man shit. They squashed their beef.
You know,
I'm like,
with that beef specifically,
I don't even know how the beef even kicked off. I'm like,
East Room. Fucking East Room, bro. I'm so glad that place was this playground. It was literally a misunderstanding, and what's crazy is I've talked to Big Spencer about it, and you know, the thing that is really crazy about when Mick and Vic Spencer got into it, it was a community that was really surrounding what they were doing. On God, 406, them people, these, I dare say, creative teams were like really building up a community up. You know what I'm saying? So a certain sound that like Raven Lenae, Smino, like those type of artists, like they were really like building into it. Like you had Kaylani before she even dropped her debut album, just hanging out in Pilsen at these events. Crazy. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Michael Anthony. You know what I mean? So it was like when that beef took place, it was like the Chicago hip hop community immediately was like, yo, like who's dude? You know what I'm saying? Because it's Vic Spencer. So of course they kind of like, oh, okay. But then you had, you know, I dare say people of the blog era, you know what I'm saying, that was really trying to treat Vic differently. And it was interesting how, again, time has allowed that relationship to grow from there. But I feel like that was one of those distinctive beefs. It was almost like if you heard about that Tink and Dreezy beef back in the day, it was like, yeah, that was a whole thing.
So random,
look, that was a whole thing. But yo, so did you have one more question?
I did actually have a question.
Yes, let's get this question.
You were talking about how before you came to Chicago, like you weren't really listening to a lot of hip hop, right? And that kind of just like, do you remember where you were and what it was that you were listening to when you first fell in love with hip hop?
Brown sugar ass question.
It very much is a brown sugar ass question. I just like, well, you kind of set me up, Lord. When did you fall in love with hip hop?
I fell in love with hip hop. Well, like I said, I started listening to hip hop when I came to Chicago.
Right.
When I was back in New York, I wasn't listening to no hip hop.
Right.
So when I first came to Chicago, I fell in love with hip hop was when I first heard Ill State Assassin, E.C. Illa, Blase Blah. when I first heard Wood, as in Wood Harris. When I first heard Freddie Rodriguez, I don't know if y'all know the actor Freddie Rodriguez. Puerto Rican dude. He played in Dead President with Lorenz Tate. He was the Puerto Rican dude that helped. You know, he used to be a rapper and a break dancer.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's like Wood, Freddie, all them dudes used to be rappers before they became actors. You know what I'm saying? But that's when I fell in love with hip hop. Ange 13. This cat named Crunch. He used to be in this group. Crunch used to be in this group back in the days called 10 Trey. And Crunch, like, recently changed his name from Crunch to GQ Tha Juggernaut. And, you know, GQ Tha Juggernaut now, he worked for CPS, for Chicago Public School. But that's when I first fell in love with hip hop. And then, of course, when I heard Gangstar and Jeru the Damager and Group Home and Mad Lion and Smith and Wesson and MC8 and Spice One and Too Short and you familiar with the Coop?
Yeah.
Boots Riley and all them. You know, Boots Riley from the Coop, Supernatural. That's when, you know what I'm saying, that's when I fell in love with hip hop. And in 92, 93, I was hanging out with this group. It used to be this hip hop group back in the days called Euphonics. You know what I'm saying? And I used to hang out with this cat named Chris. So one time I was at Chris' crib, and you know, it was Chris, and it was this white chick there. And the white chick, she was just chilling on the couch, smoking her blood. You know what I'm saying? You know, we were just talking about hip hop, and she had mad knowledge of hip hop. So I was listening to her, and I was telling Chris, like, man, your girl got mad knowledge. She like, oh yeah, she like, that's my girl right there. So I was like, she asked me like, man, what's your name? I'm like, yeah, my name's GQ Tha Teacha. I'm from New York, Belize. She like, ooh. I'm like, what's your name? She like, my name Wendy Day. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay. So this chick, so me and Wendy Day start chopping it up, we building it. And then a few years later, I haven't heard from her. And then when I turned around and looked, fast forward, she became a multi-millionaire. I'm talking about she had broken deals for Death Row Records, Cash Money Records. You know what I'm saying? So, and you know, that's why when I got into an argument with this dude, I ain't gonna say the name of the person, idiot. But he was like, man, Wendy Day. He was saying Wendy Day, and I want to say Andrew Barber as well too. Wendy Day and Andrew Barber, they some culture vulture. I looked at him like, nah, the fuck they ain't. I'm like, I know, you know, Wendy Day been in the trenches. She been, I'm talking about in the grimiest part of the trenches, putting in work in the music scene. And Andrew Barber, on the other hand, it was this group that I used to rock with back in the days called Mass Hysteria. And I got a couple of songs with them. And Andrew Barber put my joint on Fake Shore Drive. And he always, you know what I'm saying, he always been showing love for the hip hop cats. So I'm like, nah, there ain't no fucking culture vulture, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, yeah, but that's a whole nother story, man. But,
that's valid. I appreciate you. But we finna get into our segment of our show. You ain't gonna be able to do this part, but we're gonna still do it anyway, just because you know so many people. So it's called This, That, or a Shot. And the whole concept of the series is you gotta choose between two artists that we name, and if you choose one, you gotta say why. If you don't, and you don't want to choose either, then you gotta take a shot. But we ain't gonna make you do all that. That's cool.
Yeah, because I don't drink nor smoke, so.
Nah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Whew. Rufus Sims or Fillmore Green?
I love both of them, so.
Yeah, that'd have been a shot.
I'll take one for you. I got you.
All right. I got the second one.
I don't.
No, I think hey, I'm only doing this on some like I really love Drink Champs, so I really love when they get to this part. And it's like again, if you can't choose both, you gotta take a shot. But if you choose one, you gotta explain why. So here's the next one. Dr. Mindbender or Rashid Hadid?
He's really good at this.
That's another. Now, see, if I was drinking out, I had to take another shot. And that's a tough one too. I fuck with both of them. Both of them some damn beasts.
I'll take a shot.
Valid. Okay.
I got one.
Somebody should be drinking for him.
We should, you know what? It's
That's a
GQ. You
great
know what I'm saying?
idea.
We just being
Next
respectful. Next time. But go ahead. What's yours? So?
Lady of Rage or Shauna?
Damn. Fuck, I'm cool with both of them too. I'm gonna give the slight close edge to a Lady of Rage.
How come?
Yeah. Why?
Damn.
Yep.
Don't renege. You can't renege.
I give the edge to Shauna.
Shauna.
Yeah, one of my favorites. Heard her on RPM and I was like, "There's nothing touching this." You know what I'm saying?
The GQ,
Especially on a
really?
technical
You really
level.
sitting there? Damn.
Yeah, you got me throwing off now, man.
I know why he's throwing off.
That's the whole point of the game. Look, man, the whole point of this segment is to get people to know Chicago artists. I think someone on Determined Radio said when we went on there not too long ago that like most people can't name more than like 10 Chicago artists. And I was like, that's crazy because if I talk to GQ Tha Teacha, he can outname me on Chicago artists any day. Like doing some like just slight flex type shit. So yeah, that's the whole point of this show. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? The goal is for everybody that's watching to do your homework. Do your homework on everybody we talking about because we guarantee y'all gonna be put on game because it's all Chicago music. These are all gems. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I got one for you.
All right, I got.
Reverse.
Reverse.
I love both of them too. Shauna or Ange 13.
Where the gin at? Where the gin at? Because I can't pick.
That's right.
I'm not picking.
That's valid.
You know,
I know we
that's
like,
another
oh, there is a
that's
fruit.
another tough one because I like both of them. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, look, y'all. We finna wrap this episode up. We appreciate everybody
Yes,
that
sir.
slid through. We appreciate the legendary GQ Tha Teacha for sliding. Thank you so much, big bro, for not only taking us under your wing, but really just like reminding us that we are creating the future. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like again, Dilla, the historian, he always keeps saying that everything dope from America comes from Chicago. And we gotta really make sure the world know that Chicago's music history is very rich and it's very, very informative and it's just something that you can get lost in because it's that amazing. So we're gonna wrap this up, y'all. We're gonna see y'all in the next one. Peace.
Right now, eyes get a little high from the fentanyl bite down. Pray to the east, don't pray where you eat. Gon' be what it be when it's lights out. Flag on the plate, no time house. Niggas tryna catch it. Blessed from the most high. When OG had me dressed up in bow ties. Dreams once fate.